All right, welcome to Invest in You. Today we've got Clara Hayek and also we have Fredrik Sandvall. We are from two parts of the world today, but we have come together today to talk about neuro leadership and also how you as a leader can work on yourself and with your team. So why could this be beneficial to anyone listening today, Clara?
Well, where do I start?
Yeah, go
Um,
ahead.
to be quite honest with you, I think when we become leaders, when we're put in that position,
Yes.
nobody tells us or nobody talks about how to behave or how to be self-aware
Yes.
or how we are maybe facing or dealing with pressure. Like there's no
Yep.
school that teaches you how to manage pressure.
Yes.
And I know it sounds like, yeah, but you just manage it and you push through it. What's the big deal? Well, the big deal is that nobody put this in words, and that's why I'm here. The
Yes.
fact that if you don't manage your pressure as a leader, you could be amazing at your skills. You could be an amazing leader. You could be all aligned, focused,
Yes.
driven, the top skills. But when pressure hits, what happens is we default to the flight or flight. Our brain defaults to
Yes.
survival.
Yep.
So we default to our patterns. And
Yes.
those patterns, if they're not trained and rewired, then you're going to make the wrong decision because
Yep.
now you are just under pressure and you need to make that quick decision. It doesn't mean it's going to be an aligned decision, a focused decision, a clear decision, or you're going to show up very agitated because that's how you react to pressure, where
Yes.
you need to be in a calm authority state as a leader at that point in that situation. So I guess why? Because this is what makes us the best leaders is
Yes.
the most underestimated factor in our leadership is pressure and how it affects us. And I'm
Yeah.
here to help people and their, teams and leaders be strong, aligned, calm, decisive, make that
Yep.
right call and stay in their literally in their prefrontal cortex, their brain
Yes.
CEO, no matter what's happening and on the outside. So
That sounds really good. So your mindset and if you can dare and have the power to be authentic when it matters. So we'll dive into many aspects of this. So I really look forward to dig deeper because ultimately I see myself as a leader. So I'm also a practitioner. I'm here to learn from you, Claire. So let's dive in. So how did you come up with working with this? If you rewind your career a bit.
yeah, well, I um I can simply say, and in a very simple, humble way, that I was forged
Yes.
under pressure. I was born and raised in Lebanon, Beirut, and
Oh, yes.
unfortunately,
Yep.
we're still
Yes.
where, back in the 70s. That's when I was born. And so I lived as a child. I was forged. My personality was forged to deal with pressure because
Yes.
that was just a lot of uncertainty, a lot of disruption. We didn't know, right? And then, of course, later in life, we moved to Canada. Later in life, I chose to be an engineer. So I studied engineering and I worked engineering for 20 plus years. And the reason why I mention all this is that I feel that all my decisions, where I was born and what I
Yes.
decided to do with my career later was I chose pressure. I
Yes.
chose high pressure environments. And
Yep.
it's as if, kind of that feeling that, this is what's going to shape me. This is what defines me. It's what makes me feel comfortable in a
Yes.
way, or where I'm the best or I excel the best. And engineering, you know how it works. I mean, one little mistake, you're managing teams, projects, deadlines. It could cost
Yes.
you millions of dollars. Everything is due yesterday. And I
Yep.
worked in mining and metallurgy, which is,
Yes.
huge. So fast forward to today, I started my company, Mind Soul Purpose Team Building, because I learned a thing or two
Yeah.
about how to manage
Yes.
pressure. And I really wanted to bring that to leadership and really focus on that element because we don't need more people to teach you skills. There's so many out there that
Yes.
are very good at skills building, and it's essential. Don't get me wrong. We need that. But I feel that there's a lack when it comes to helping people or reorienting people on
Yes.
how to deal with pressure so they are highly performing and they don't break
Yes.
under pressure.
Yeah.
And the excuse of thriving, I thrive under pressure. 100% I can understand.
Yeah.
However, it's unsustainable.
Yep.
And we don't realize the
Yes.
mistakes and what it's costing us
Yes.
until we stop and actually put a number next to it. It's one of the things I do with clients. We do that
Yeah, exactly.
pressure proof diagnostic and say, well, this is how much this decision just cost you, which was taken under pressure, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, and many of the decisions we take has got substantial financial impact, and also in terms of time and wasted time. We can also do a lot of harm to ourselves and to the organization by being too stubborn in the wrong direction, or too quick or too slow to act under pressure. So in the pre-call, we discussed Lebanon, and also like the spirit of the people. Like, okay, too bad they flatten our village. Let's rebuild. Like perseverance is another word under pressure, that you have the choice to give up or to carry on. So what are the benefits from actually carrying on and not just surrender to the circumstances? I know, a tricky question.
Yeah, I mean, we always have the choice to give up.
Yeah.
I think it's there's no right or wrong. There's just what do you want to do?
Yes. Yeah,
What
exactly.
is your goal?
Yes.
Do you want to succeed? Do you want to grow as a leader? Do you want to be a better leader? You want to be a better person? You want to
Yeah.
have a bigger impact? What do you want? And depending on that answer, then if you choose that I want to grow, I want to learn, I want to be better, then
Yep.
resilience is a non-negotiable because surprise, surprise, that's life. Life is
Yes.
there to test us, and there's always something, and nobody can compare one's hardship, to another. Everybody's got their struggles.
Yes.
We can either take it as, this is happening to me. This is, I can't do this anymore, and I can give up. I give up completely. Or you can choose, well, this is happening for me. What can I learn from it?
Yeah.
Where can I, how can I extract? I always say we can always find 2 to 3 gifts, if not five, of every single thing that we're struggling with that is happening to us. Because what is the other choice?
Yes.
Is drowning in sorrow, self-doubt, spiraling down, getting depressed, or we take and say, okay, well, what can I learn from it? How
Yep.
can I be better? What
Yes.
is this teaching me? And then we spiral up.
Yes.
So it's a personal decision, and I truly hope for everybody listening, anybody listening, that you choose the latter. You choose to grow, you choose to learn, because it's so much more fun to be happy.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
things are happening in the world, but we
Yeah.
could choose. We could choose to be happy. It doesn't mean that we're not suffering, we're not in pain, we don't feel
Yep.
what's happening, that we're not connected to that pain. But what do we do with that pain?
Yes.
Do we let it drag us down, or do we take it as a tool for us to rewire new habits and get stronger? So next time this happens, I can deal with it better, much
Yeah.
quicker, as opposed to a whole week of beating myself up and got me nowhere.
Yeah.
Maybe in 60 seconds, I can switch my pattern and I'm able to change my state
Yes.
and show up the way I need to show up for myself
Yes.
and the people around me and my team, my organization, my family, no matter what the context is, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. So really what springs to mind here is like it's not just one choice, it is repeating that choice. And also many people on this podcast, they have been through hardship and they found their own way, whether that's as an entrepreneur or employee or leader or entrepreneur. You find your way, but you have to repeat that decision. Some mentors have said like the rent is due every day or every month, so you can't only rely on your old merits and achievements. You need to refocus and decide today and tomorrow again and again, like, will I keep fighting or will I surrender? So I did my first year with the military as part of a special forces unit, and And in the beginning stage, where we try to filter people out, we were almost like tempting them, like, are you sure you don't want to give up? Like, it's never too late to give up. You won't. You want to have a burger or carry on in hardship. Like, easy, easy today or easy in the future. And that goes back to the choices we make today. So yeah. So one example of where a leader can really stand up for a team, what could that be in a tough situation? How can we help the people around us?
I think the thing that is underestimated the most is, I mean, I believe is the leader standing up for him or herself or themselves.
Yep.
Um, that's the missing gap. I think most leaders believe that they need to be strong and better for their team, and they miss that they need to be strong, resilient, and play at the highest level that
Yep.
they're meant to play
Yes.
for themselves. And once you do that for yourself, then automatically that trickles down to the organization, to your team. You are walking the talk, you're leading by example.
Yes.
And the trap or the self-sabotage pattern that I see a lot with C-suite leaders is they truly believe they're the best, and I'm not saying they're not. I'm not, we all have our strength. I mean,
Yep.
I have a lot of great things about me, but it took me a long time to realize I have a lot of work to do.
Yep.
I'm not perfect. I'm not even close to perfect. And it's not about perfection. It's about what's the best version of me? What does that look like?
Yeah, got
What
it.
are my struggles, my patterns that I had to change? So to answer your question, the best way you can be and show up for your team and your organization is to make sure that you are showing up at the best version of yourself,
Yep.
and that requires self-work before you can even stand and claim that you're helping other people, and the letting go of I want to help others.
Yep.
Help yourself. Help yourself first. We
Yes.
all need self-help. Help yourself first. Be the best one you can be. And just by doing that, see how everybody around you will change. That's just going to influence and inspire everybody around you.
Yep.
And that just 100%, I think, underestimated in leadership. And I know a lot of leaders work on themselves, um, and they try to push it on their
Yes.
team, but it doesn't work that way. They need to find that intrinsic motivation. And I think seeing the change in somebody else usually goes, wow, I mean, so-so's changed. He's more patient. He actually, or she pauses before she's actually listening to me. She's actually like watching me right now and listening to my words. She's not on her phone or, you know, and just little simple things like that, being
Yes.
present. Um, that can make you such a much better leader. But again, there's a whole system that I work with, a
Yep.
framework, and install a whole system in organizations when it comes to really pressure proofing their leadership. And there's a lot of work, and it's not a workshop, a one day, an offsite. It's not. You take the whole operating system and we're upgrading it. So think of it as we're doing the cleanup of all the apps that are not serving the organizations and the
Yep.
leaders, and just updating that operating system, period. And that when you do that, that it's great because you have a great starting point, but it's in the practice, and you said it, Frederick.
Yes.
It's in the practice, and
Mm.
it's in the coming back to it, and the regulating, the executing, strengthening, then sustaining. That's how you change behavior and you become a better leader, and you have a better team that is way just lifting you up and you lift them up.
Yeah.
It's a
Good.
process, and it doesn't happen because you did one training or one workshop,
Yeah.
because we always want to default.
Yeah.
We
No,
want to default to the easy, right?
that's
To the
good.
easy way, which we've done all our life. It's just too hard to sustain this thing that, our body, our mind, our brain is telling us, I don't know what you're doing, but that's not what we do.
Yeah.
Stop doing this thing. It's making me uncomfortable. Well, guess what? That's what it's going to take to cross that river of change. And that's what Dr. Joe Dispenza says. These
Yeah.
are his exact words. And I love that, crossing the river of change.
Yeah, I like
So,
to just
right.
highlight the thing that you mentioned there, Claire, in terms of to be present. A fellow speaker, we were on stage, we spoke about different things. I spoke about negotiation, spoke about leadership styles, and he said, like, when you're in the room, be in the room, which is all about
Yes.
the presence, the attention, the curiosity, and again, don't be on your phone or somewhere else mentally. And that's easier said than done because we are nowadays almost like wired for distractions, and we're wired for task jumping. We're a little bit all over the place and find it sometimes hard to focus. I'd like
Yeah.
to
Is
jump.
that
Yeah,
instant dopamine,
yeah,
hit
absolutely.
that we're looking for, right?
Yeah,
But that's not sustainable dopamine, right?
yeah,
So that's not how you really
true.
regulate your system, your nervous system, and you're operating at, where your brain is working for you and not self-sabotaging you or getting you addicted to the wrong thing.
Yeah,
Even
absolutely.
as simple as scrolling on social media or multitasking. We find
Yes.
that so productive, certain way you can, but I mean, there's a
Yeah.
lot of misconceptions. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
So digging deeper into the word neuro and looking a bit into the brain, because you've been working with this for some time, what are some of the hidden brain secrets that can be very easy for us to unlock and apply? Maybe conscious, maybe subconscious. So some of the anything from hormones to habit stacking to anything at all in the mind. Any useful things that you like to share with the audience?
Absolutely. I mean, so much to share, and I know we're
I
limited on
understand
time.
that.
But I know it's really interesting, and again, thanks for having me and giving me this platform to share this. It's all about really sharing as much as possible because I'm all about that ripple effect. If one person is listening to this right now and
Yeah.
what we say together helps them, then we've done our job, right, Frederick? So to answer your question, yes, I mean, the first thing is be mindful, be aware of your thoughts. That's something that we discount a lot. We don't think about that. Nobody taught us at school. Oh, what is your mind telling you? What are you thinking right now? Because your thoughts will influence how we feel, will influence our actions. And if you're telling yourself, I can't do this, I'm stressed, I'm overwhelmed, I'm anxious, they hate me, I'm gonna fail.
Yes.
Well, guess what? You are all of these things. You're gonna be all of these things.
Yes.
I think the first thing we could do is do not judge your thoughts. It's just one little comment, very important. Do not judge your thoughts because then you're spiraling down with it. Just observe your thoughts, write it down, pause. That takes 30 seconds sometimes. Like, what's happening in my head right now? What am I thinking? If you're feeling overwhelmed or anxious, just name it, write it down. I'm feeling overwhelmed, I'm feeling
Yes.
anxious. And these are the thoughts are coming to me. I usually what I suggest people to do to write the thoughts that are not serving you
Yep.
and a column. And the right next to it, change it. Just change it. I'm scared of speaking in public. I am a really good speaker. Like reverse it. So what do
Yes.
you want? And then literally look in the mirror and say the opposite of what your thoughts. So we are
Okay.
reprogramming what our thoughts, the subconscious, unconscious thoughts that we've entertained all these years.
Yeah,
And this is
exactly.
how we change our behavior. And it's simple. It sounds like it's like, oh my God, I got to stop and write this down and then go and look at myself in the mirror. Okay, you don't have to do any of that. Just pausing for 30 seconds, breathe, be mindful, and then say, okay, how can I change that? One thought, just pick one thought one day, every day and change it. And then
Yes.
eventually you'll be surprised how you can change all of them. And maybe another one would be just if you're feeling angry or emotional or really stressed out, you're just go, 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 go. And you feel like you need to make an important decision or somebody's asked you something that's confrontational. Don't react. Pause for even if it's 5 seconds, just
Yes.
breathe, take a deep breath. And it doesn't have to be so obvious and that you're meditating. Just you could just do it naturally.
Yep.
Just pause, even a 3-second pause will put you back in your prefrontal cortex, which is your brain CEO, gets you out of your amygdala, this the flight or flight brain, and then you are going to make a much more sane decision, much more aligned decision with who you are. Because it's biology. You're
Yes.
literally sending the blood flow to your prefrontal cortex. Again, your brain CO, that's where you make the right decisions. That's where your skills live. That's where you're really thriving.
Yeah, exactly.
But how can you make that decision if you're completely
Yeah.
in your fight or flight amygdala, right?
Yeah.
Simple things like this. And the one thing you said, Frederick, be present. Be
Mm.
present. Try, even if you're on a meeting, or I'm looking at you right now on camera, and
Yeah, exactly.
and if I feel like I'm going off or I'm just not listening, I just maybe I can focus on the color of your eyes.
Yep.
I
Yep.
can focus on that little, beautiful painting you have behind you. It just brings you back to the present
Yeah,
moment.
exactly. Yeah.
So be observant and try to be present by focusing on the person specifically. And that instantly brings you back
Yes.
into the present moment.
I like to pick one specific detail, what you mentioned, for think about the whole reptile brain. Most times when we are really angry, like confrontational in our mind, if we focus on anything else, that devious bad thought that we had, it will be forgotten. And the next day, you can't even remember that you were about to say something stupid or whatever, or send that angry email or anything, because it wasn't that important after all. But at the moment, your thoughts, they were kidnapped by the words of you. And if you just pause it for, like you said, a few seconds, and your brain will be somewhere else. And the whole idea of doing something stupid is gone instead of hitting send or doing whatever that might be. So please build on what I said here, like tools to stop our stupid brain from doing stupid things in the moment of anger, for example.
Yeah. So I mean, I like to reframe it a little bit differently if I
Go for
can.
it.
And it's our brains, our brain, I guess, if we talk about our own brain,
Yes.
is brilliant. And its only job is to keep us alive.
Yeah.
The brain doesn't know that you have this important decision that you need to make. And the thing is, it will sabotage everything and it will do everything possible to convince us not to do something that feels threatening because the brain wiring
Yes.
literally doesn't recognize it. It's uncertain. This is thing that we don't know. I don't know what that means. I don't know what you're doing, but that's not what we do. That's not what we've been doing for the past 50 years. So why are you doing it? Freaking out. I'm going to keep you alive. And then it will self-sabotage the threat,
Yes.
send all these feelings, all these thoughts to stop us, right? So your brain is not the enemy. The brain is not stupid. The brain is brilliant. And
Yeah.
we are blessed to have the brain. It's the most important, I mean, instrument that we have in our body.
Yes.
The thing is that we're not aware of it and we don't, and it's controlling us. It's running its own show.
Yes.
The key is to train our brain to work for us and not against us. So we
Yeah.
are running the brain and not the brain running us. So I think, and that's the brilliant realization. It really helped me when I understood that. I'm like, oh my God, okay. It's just that I'm just letting my brain run me the way it wants because with whatever wiring and patterns I've
Yes.
had built all this life. But it's neuroplastic, so that means it could be rewired, it can change. And it's
Yes.
only me can do that. It's
Yeah.
nobody else's job, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you can do it with just thinking without even doing the physical movement. You can rewire your brain in terms of like changing what's important on, and also the way I try to explain how the brain works when talk about communication is like you got like a receptionist that is filtering all of these impressions. It can be anything like it's hot, it's cold, it's background sound, and whatnot, and you got the your culture filter, you got your upbringing, and then also you got your priorities, and you got what's important and your focus in this very moment, and all of that stuff is just distorting your perception of reality. So therefore, to like we said before, to connect with anyone else, like eye contact is a good starting point. to break away from all of those other things that might be there. So feel free to
Yeah. And
elaborate
what we
on
say,
the filter. Yeah.
yeah, and what we say to ourselves,
Yes.
I did a TEDx recently, a
Yeah.
TEDx talk on why your voice matters more than you
Yes.
think. The say it out loud rule is so being aware of those thoughts is only like step one, but when you
Yes.
change them, this is really where it gets powerful. And this was
Exactly.
proven by research. Maybe we can include that link for the TEDx if people are interested
Yeah.
in watching it. But it's about saying it out loud. So if you're gonna tell yourself, I'm gonna fail, I can't do this. Well, guess what? You won't be able to. It's kind of that
Yes.
receptionist telling you, filtering all the signals, going, yeah, you're gonna see all the things that is gonna prove that you can't
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
what you
Exactly.
said you can do. But if you tell yourself, even if you're scared and you're really out of your comfort zone, and say, I'm gonna step on that stage, I'm gonna be the best speaker out there,
Yeah.
and I could do this, and you say it
Exactly.
out loud, you're literally engaging multiple functions of the brain and wires that message much deeper, which then your brain believes is those words and it's
Exactly.
resonating a bit more. And so your behavior is actually reflected because you literally not only were aware of your thoughts and you said it out loud in
Yes.
order to empower yourself to do the thing that you're scared of. And that's what courage is by doing the thing that you're mostly scared of. Courage doesn't arrive all of a sudden.
Yes.
It comes in when you're acting, when you're doing the thing that's scaring you the most, regardless of what your brain might be telling you,
Yes.
but you are changing the script and you are saying it in a powerful way and you're
Yeah.
priming
Exactly.
yourself up.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. So the same thing there. Like I'm a living example of that. You can program and trick yourself into doing so many strange things because I've had a very strange life, doing many things that I would never have anticipated when I was young. Never.
Right.
And I mean, we are both not even in our native home country as we speak today. And something brought us to another part of the world where we are different and we still find a way to go about and to help others and to help ourselves, like you said before.
For sure. For sure. That you gotta help yourself before you can even think
Yeah.
of helping others. And I often tell people that I work with and clients and leaders and that I I'm helping myself as I help them, and as I help them, it's reciprocal. Helping
Yes.
them helps me, and helping me helps them.
Yep.
And if I don't say that, I feel, I would be completely lying to
Yes.
them, because they bring me in as an expert. I mean, my title says neuro leadership expert. Yes, of course, and I own it, and I'm very proud of it. Of course I am. But I've lived it. This didn't come
Yes.
because I studied neuro leadership somewhere in a handbook. I've been living it for 30 years. So as I'm helping myself grow, I'm helping others. And by helping others, I'm reinforcing that same behavior that
Yes.
helps me. And this is the power thing about what leaders sometimes miss
Yeah. So
is
now,
it's a two-way. It's
yeah,
not
exactly.
one way to your team and your
Yes.
organization. No, 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 no. It's a two-way, you know?
Yeah. So now I feel that we're almost back where we started this whole conversation, like leadership under pressure. One of your
Right.
core strengths and one of your specialties in terms of helping others. Let's come back to that. We've been on a detour here. So some of the basic thoughts around leading under pressure, and I think from our pre-call, we spoke about some different profiling tools, and most of us are acting the opposite of our normal self when we are very stressed. So please elaborate
Exactly.
on
Yeah.
some of the things that happen when we are under extreme pressure, whatever that's perceived or real.
Yeah. The way I put it is, if you think about it, when we are building our skills, we're learning our experience, everything we've practiced, studied, etc. Think of it as building a castle out of sand. Now, what happens a castle that is built out of sand when the wave comes, when the pressure comes, then you no longer have access to the castle. That beautiful castle is gone. It just,
Yep.
you don't even have access to it because you're not in the right frame of mind. It all kind of goes poof, gone.
Yes.
So, pressure proof leadership is about building that foundation that's going to hold, even if that tsunami comes. And they're always going to have access to the best skills, your best talent, the best way that you've been leading, basically your upgraded leadership,
Yes.
no matter what. That's what it is. That's what we're building. It's installing that pressure proof leadership is kind of like I said, an operating system for leadership teams that ensures that they stay clear, aligned, and decisive exactly when there's uncertainty, when
Yep.
complexity and pressure peaks. It's again it's not a workshop, it's a repeatable system. And I think the keyword here is repeatable. It's a
Mm.
repeatable system that changes how the leadership team actually operates. And it's a real conversation worth having,
Yes.
because we are living in times where, I mean, I think uncertainty is is the keyword
Yes.
or the
Yeah, exactly.
headline.
Yes.
And we are not, the organization, the team, the executive leadership, the decision makers are not trained to have that foundation. They're going to always, most of the time, what I see, they will default to
Yes.
siloing in when pressure comes in, because now we're in flight or flight, and we're going to make a decision. I know what to do. I'm going to make
Yep.
that decision.
Yep.
Do you? Are you making the right decision? Maybe it's a 50% chance you are doing it, but don't you want to have a system that will allow you to test
Yes.
test yourself under pressure and be able to access the best decision you can ever have, even if pressure is in your life,
Yes.
that we ensure 100% that you're doing the aligned, uh, perfect decision for yourself, for the organization, and for your team
Yes.
that will cost you nothing. And like I said, I've been doing these diagnostics with a lot of C-suite. And we often talk about like one little thing that happened. It sounded like it was a little hiccup. And
Yep.
then until we put a number on it, how many decisions were delayed? How many meetings did you have because of this? How did that affect the organization in the next 6 months? What other projects you had to put on hold because of this decision? How many
Yes.
leaders were affected? How many people thought of leaving, or how many people did you lose? And then you compile these numbers. Look, I'm an
Yep.
engineer. I love numbers. Okay.
Yes.
And I'm not exaggerating. So far, I've done this many times with a lot of leaders. And one decision, we're looking at an average at a 500K to a
Yes.
$1 million.
Yes.
One decision. How many decisions are you making, or your
Yeah,
team is
exactly.
making
Yes.
during the day? And it's the hidden cost that
Yes.
nobody talks about. So installing the operating system, not only pressure proofing your leadership, it's
Yes.
saving you millions of dollars of hidden costs that are not on your financial statement. It should be.
Yes.
It should be. But who wants to show that, right? But now
Yeah.
you can. You can literally get rid of that hidden cost. Yeah.
That's a so strong point. And also to add even further to that, those decisions is one thing, but what I observe more than anything in today's world is indecisiveness. So the absence of the decision, because with
Absolutely.
decisions comes accountability, it comes potential blame, etc., etc. So I would say that in the same way as just described that wrong decision, equally big number or even greater, the leader that for whatever reason doesn't feel it's the right time to take that tough decision. And I see too
100%.
much of that.
Frederick, I couldn't have said it better. Thank you for making that point,
Yeah.
because that's one of the things. I do talk about making an aligned decision and
Yes.
etc. But making a decision is something that is underestimated. Some people can't. And
Yes.
that's one of the factors that I actually put enough freezing under pressure.
Exactly.
It's
You said
exactly
it. I
what
was
you're
thinking
saying.
it. Yes.
That's exactly what that that's huge because then now you're stalling, and that stalling is also
Yeah,
costing you something.
exactly.
So absolutely, and thanks for bringing this up.
Yeah, no, no, it's good that you articulated freezing, because that was my next follow-up question, really, in terms of like the ultimately, what is the reason for people freezing, linking it now back to the brain and patterns from our ancient growing up and with our ancestors? Why do we freeze in the event where we really should take action many times?
It literally it's fear. It's again, it's a pattern that's been you've been rehearsing
Yeah.
all your life. It could be reacting quickly
Yes.
and being spontaneous and without reflecting. It could be freezing. So it's literally fight or flight or
Yes. Yes.
freeze, actually, or
Yes.
fawn. There's like four. You could freeze
Yeah.
completely because it's just what you do. This is how your brain keeps you alive. It's like,
Yeah.
don't do anything, stop, right? Stall. Again, it's the brain reacting
Yeah.
I'm not reacting, it's your brain keeping you alive, and it's going to default to one of these four patterns,
Yeah.
just the way it is. It's something that we've been probably reinforcing ever since we're 3 years old.
We've seen it a
Some
few
people
times.
will say the right thing for people to please,
Yes.
the fawn. I'm just gonna say the things that I don't believe I should say, but I'm gonna say it because I want to diffuse
Yes.
the tension. I want to say what people want to hear right now. So that's another, again, that's how we control the situation, and we keep ourselves alive, we save
Exactly.
ourselves. The
Yeah.
other one is make a decision. It's the fight, it's just boom, you're in
Yeah.
there, and the flight, you just completely withdraw.
Yep.
Now you're
Yes.
silent, you're not frozen, you're not even there. You've
Yes.
completely withdrawn yourself from the situation. Like, this is not my problem. I'm just gonna pretend it's not there, although it's there. That's just the way it's just gonna retrieve in my little corner. I'm
Yep.
gonna hide until it goes away. And these are all self-sabotage patterns. It's
Yeah.
again, these
Exactly.
are patterns that the brain overuses to keep us alive. But the beauty is that once you realize what your sabotage patterns are,
Yeah.
you can completely get them under control. So they're not running you. You can see them and decide, okay, do I want to freeze? Do I want to act that way?
Yes.
Or do I want to really act in a XYZ way, that this
Yeah.
is really who I am and who I want to be, or that's where I play at my best level, or that's my best version of who I am.
Yeah.
And again, it starts
I
with that
would.
decision, right?
Yeah, I
So,
love to combine what we just spoke with this moment into the world of relationship, either with your team or even more interesting with like dating and your maybe spouse or partner. How does
yeah,
this
yeah.
relate to exactly that situation? You can again, please repeat the four for those of you who are in a relationship or think about the dating event. Can you just number one repeat the four we just mentioned?
Yeah, I mean it's beyond that because it's all
I know.
behavior, and actually Shirzad Shamin does a great job explaining this in Positive Intelligence. You can Google it for more information. And there's a study done by in Stanford University that basically it can assess your self-sabotage patterns.
Yeah.
And this is a great thing to know and pinpoint, especially in relationships as well,
I
even
agree.
with your
Yeah.
kids, etc. Because these are all just ways we're triggered,
Yeah.
right? And then we react to the triggers. So our sabotage pattern is going to make us behave that way because that's what's kept us alive all this time. So we might trigger somebody as
Yeah.
we're, our saboteur is acting, and then back and forth. And that's why sometimes, we escalate discussions and arguments, etc. So the first step is be self-aware and change the pattern. There's a whole way to do that.
Yeah.
One thing is I can speak for myself, and my
Please
partner,
do.
my life partner, and I used to really react. It was like snap, I'm like
Yeah.
fight, fight mode, you know? And when I start practicing this self-awareness and understanding, okay, this is why I react that way because my brain does that to keep me alive, but I'm not really happy with that pattern. I don't want to be controlling anymore, or
Yeah.
I don't want to be, be the pleaser, or, etc. So I recognize where those patterns are, and I'm literally just would pause. And then, there's
Yes.
I can't go in details, but there's
Yep.
certain patterns that you can reverse that pattern. And
Yes.
ever since I start really being self-aware, and I would react differently. I literally would pause, and instead of jumping and him triggering me,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Pushing my buttons, I would just stop. I was like, oh, I see what's happening. I want to react right now, and I want to fight back, but I'm not going to do that.
Yes.
What is he really trying to tell me?
Yeah.
Just stop, pause, and zoom out and see, like, what is he really trying to tell me? And look at it from a whole different angle. Say,
Yeah.
okay, he's really just trying to say something that's going to help me in the long run, and I'm not taking this criticism very well. So of course all of this is not happening for an hour, right? This is
Yeah.
happening instantly in your brain. So literally just pausing and not jumping
Yeah.
back and answering, because that's boom boom pushing buttons.
Yeah.
Then just pausing, that completely changed the whole conversation. And at the beginning, when I start applying this, he would say, wait a sec, what's happening?
Yeah. Then
You're not
sometimes you go to
reacting.
this
You're not
leadership
reacting.
training, personal development. You
Yeah.
come home and like,
Yeah.
are you trying some of these new things on me? What's happening over
Yes,
here?
exactly. And it's brilliant because he would say, like, who are you seeing? Are you seeing a therapist? Or what pill are you
Yeah.
on?
Yeah.
And would
Exactly.
joke about it. I said, no, I've been really working on myself, and I realized that I always kind of react that way. I'm not judging. I'm accepting the fact that this has kept me
Yeah.
alive and in my survival mode for a long time, but I don't want to be that person anymore. I want to be XYZ. And then so I'm trying to change my behavior, and it's just really, I'm working on myself. And by doing that, and then he sees I'm kinder to myself and I'm kinder to him. I'm
Yeah.
more gentle, more
Yeah.
understanding, more open. Then that inspires him to be the same and calm down.
Yeah.
So just me doing my work is helping him in a way be self-conscious and see how, wow, this is elevating the relationship.
Yeah. And sometimes
It's brilliant. It's so powerful. It's
yeah, and
so
sometimes it can
powerful.
be tricky when you're on different journeys and different times of your relationship as well. So you might do a lot of your self work, and your partner might not even know what you're up to at the moment. I've been together
Absolutely.
with my spouse today on the day 35 years. That's a long time. I wonder how
Wow.
that happened.
Congrats.
And I'm
That's
still trying
amazing.
to understand this the female humankind and brain is very complicated.
Well, I think we all are. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah,
You
let's
know, I think
park it
I
there.
think one thing with women, and I gotta say this as a woman,
Yeah, yeah.
um, when you're
Please
a
do.
certain age and you're dealing with perimenopause and menopause, there's a
I know.
lot of
Yeah,
change in the
yeah,
body. And I don't
exactly.
know, I'm not claiming
Yeah,
anything here, but
yeah,
I know I'm feeling it right now.
yeah,
And I am so, so grateful that I've worked on myself, and I'm still working on myself, and
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
able to observe myself during this period, because there's certain behaviors you're going, oh God, that's the hormones. And this
Exactly.
is not who I am, but I am running the show.
Yeah,
So I
exactly.
decide at each moment whether I really want to get into that or laugh about it,
Yeah, exactly.
and this
Negative,
is why
positive.
it's
Yeah.
important work.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
have to. You have to do the work. It's not going to go away.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
And
for
you're
sure.
hot and you're cold and you can't sleep and you can't sleep too much. And yeah, yeah, it's complicated. Yeah. Right.
It
So
is. It is.
one thing that we also talked about in the pre call is that you when you work with many customers and so on all over the world, you have a scorecard, and I really like scorecards because you kind of like you lead with value, so people can like in a way self-diagnose, and then they can dive even deeper with someone like yourself. So please tell me a bit more about using a scorecard as a tool for self-assessment, and how it can help you as a concept without diving into your own one. How can that be helpful?
Yeah. I do have a pressure and performance scorecard. So if you're
Yeah.
leading a team and you want to know exactly where pressure is compromising performance right now, for
Yes.
instance, before it becomes a crisis, right? Anticipating, this scorecard is really something that could help a lot. It just gives you that awareness. It's a very fast, about 4 minutes, not even 3 to 4 minutes. If
Yeah.
you're really taking your time, it's free, obviously, and it shows you where your team is losing decision speed, execution quality, or
Yep.
um, communication cohesion under pressure. And you get specific results, and it diagnoses as well your
Yeah.
pressure and performance as a leader and your team. So it's not them and myself, it's both of you.
Yes. Exactly.
And I will be Frederick, you offered
Yeah.
if we to include the link
Yep.
in the description, and so you could do it. It's very quick, and it really just sheds some light on, wow, I had no idea, and it's something that is really underestimated in
Yeah.
in
So
leadership right now.
that
Yeah.
is my challenge to you out there, because this is probably something that you haven't thought about for quite some time. Now, for whatever reason, you stayed around for almost 1 hour and you heard us talk about many different aspects of how the brain works, how you work
Yep.
under pressure, decisions, no decisions. And this can be one thing to get some more insight into yourself. So yeah, take it or leave it. Simple. So more than that, where can people find you online? What's your preferred social media or other channel?
I think the easiest would be my website, clairehayek.com. Hayek, like Selma Hayek. And no,
Yes.
she's not my cousin. I would have loved that, but
Yeah.
we probably have the same ancestors. Yeah,
Yes.
clairehayek.com. Otherwise, find me on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Please send me a DM. I'd love to hear from you. And just one more thing, Frederick, if I may, I love to add value
Yeah.
to listeners. If you want something you can use personally as a leader, as a husband, as a wife, as a person, as a parent, right? And something you can use next time you feel pressure that is affecting your thinking or your how you feel, or especially if there's like a high pressure situation, conversation you're going to walk into. You can also grab the pressure reset scripts, and again, you can DM me on LinkedIn if it's not here, the link. And it's very short, specific mental resets that are built for real moments. So you can just literally apply them before a meeting.
Yeah.
It takes a minute or a second, and they're very efficient, and they've helped me for a long time. I still apply them, so I'd be happy to share. Otherwise, reach out and I'll share them with you. I'll share the link with you.
Yeah, no, that's good. I mean, to frame things right and to reframe your mind that might not be in the right space for a meeting is as valuable as to get the voice right and everything else, so you can actually enter that meeting with impact. So yeah, thanks a lot for sharing that, Claire. I'll give you one more chance to share like a top tip about anything at all, business, mind, just one thought to leave to the world.
Um, what I would say is try to find that gift, just be bold, stay human. And I always say this on my podcast.
Yeah.
And try to turn every challenge into a gift. There's always a gift. And I work a lot with people, with leaders, and they say, okay, Claire, I cannot find the gift. Like, seriously, here's what's happening. Are you kidding me? How can I find the gift? This is horrible. And
Yeah.
then, after a little bit of opening up and pausing and thinking about it, they always find at least three. It's always tough to find one, but once you find one, use your imagination, because that's the best way to learn. And we talked about resilience. That's the
Yeah.
best way you can learn, move on, and turn something horrible into something beautiful,
Yeah.
because that's what we're here to learn, and that's the only way to keep going, right?
Yeah. So that concludes this podcast, but I will leave with a little bracket around what she has said. Like almost every single billionaire out there, a big percentage of them have found a way to be, they're not self-made because they've done it with others, but almost everyone has some really tough luck. And then they stepped into real other luck, and that made them ultimately a billionaire. So that gift might be horrible today, but it might be really a game changer for you for the long haul. So with that said, welcome back next time, and thanks from Fredrik and Clara. Bye bye.
Thank you all.